Hi, this is Sharon Elin, and I would like to talk about Microsoft Word. And today I want to show you how to set your margins and how to use the ruler to adjust margins within your text if they differ from the rest of the document. Let's imagine that we wanted to have wider margins and we wanted a little more air around it. Let's go up and change our overall margins first. So we're going to go to File, and when I click on File, I'm looking for Page Setup. If I can't see Page Setup, it might be hidden, and you can expand your menu by going down to these arrows. You want to click on Margins, and you're looking at your top, bottom, left, and right margins. And if you wanted wider margins, you can change these numbers by using the counter or the ticker arrows here, or you can just come in and click inside of the in front of the inch marker and just change this. Let's say I want the top to be 1 inch and I want the bottom to be 1 inch and I want the left. Let's make them all 1 inch. Now when you're trying to fit more text in your document, you're going to want to make these actually smaller. I wouldn't go any smaller than 1/4 of an inch, but 1/2 of an inch is acceptable and will look just fine. I think the default is actually a 1 1/4 for left and right. But let's leave it all at 1 inch. And then we come down to OK. Now we have a little more space around the text, which helps a little bit. Let's talk about how to take this top section, which I'm going to highlight. All of this looks like it is kind of a header or some information about the content that's coming beneath it. So I'd like to indent it, but I don't want to indent the whole document. So I've highlighted what I want to indent, and I come up to the ruler. And this is where I want you to notice that on the left, this blue area here is how much you've indented with the page margins on the left and over here on the right. But these little doodads that look like sliders along the ruler are indenting markers also. And so in addition to the page indent, you can also indent a copy block by using that. This one on the left has 3 parts. It has a box on the bottom and 2 triangles facing each other. Each one of these elements controls a different aspect of indenting, but the bottom box is just a plain and simple left indent, and that box will hold the other triangles together with it if you use just that box. So if you point your cursor carefully on the box, and don't go up here, but just on the box, and you left click it with your the button on your mouse, you'll notice that a line comes up on the left. And if you keep your finger held down on the mouse button and slide to the right, the line will follow the box. Now let's go all the way to 1 and let go. If I let go of the button, all my text indents to that point. Now likewise on the right, I want it to come in a little bit, so I'm going to highlight that section again, and I'm coming over from the right, holding down my mouse button and sliding this way, and let's just go to here and let go. If you notice, there are some instances where the lines went to 2 lines, and when they wrapped, instead of wrapping in a logical way, it came all the way back to the first letter of the first word. And in each of these cases, it's probably better if it lined up instead with the medium text, with the title, rather than with the heading. So let's take each one of these one at a time. I'm going to take this one first and just highlight that. And I want to bring this second line to line up under Examining U.S. History. But if we go to this bottom triangle, it's called the hanging indent. And hanging indent means that everything after the first line will hang wherever you set this. And you want to use this when you're trying to line up text so that it hangs or it starts at a different point than your first line. So I'm going to click here and notice how it separates from the top triangle. That top triangle, by the way, represents the first line. So now we're on the second line, or the hanging indent, and I'm going to move over all the way. I'm holding down my mouse button as I go over, and I'm even going to go past those quotation marks to make it look better. And I'm going to let go right here. And if I don't like that, I can grab that hanging indent triangle again and back it up, and we'll leave it there. Click out, and we can see how that looks. Let's go down to this line, collaborating instructors, and let's make Jana Birch come over under Tracy Keister. So we're going to go over here. I'm going to try to get the hanging indent and just leave that tab marker alone. And I'm going to come all the way under Tracy and let go. And now we have Virginia SOLs, and we have some SOL numbers, and then it says and social studies. I'd rather it broke after the word and. So if I come over here to social, and let me explain this too, because this is real important. If I go in front of social and I hit enter right now, what's going to happen is that's going to make social studies a whole new paragraph. And in this case, the hanging indent will not apply to it because there's only one line in this paragraph. I want this to be part of this paragraph. This is always together. So instead of a hard return where I just hit enter, I want to use what's called a soft return. And to tell you the difference a little bit differently, I'm going to go up here to this symbol. It's called show hide. And that symbol is in your toolbar. If it's not showing up on the menu bar up here, it's because it's hidden in the toolbar options. And if you click there and add new toolbar features or new tools, you'll see this little paragraph marker there that's called show hide. It's a toggle switch that goes on and off. So if I click it on, it shows me all the hidden characters in my document that don't usually show up, but that will be controlling the format or the layout. So when I turn that on, these paragraph markers indicate where I have hit enter and broken a paragraph into a new paragraph. And in this case with social studies and language arts, I have made it into two paragraphs instead of one. So I'm going to take out that. You can just delete it. And now in order to make it social studies stay together with that paragraph but yet be on a new line, this time instead of just enter, I'm going to hold down shift and then hit enter. So shift enter, and it gives me a whole different symbol, and that's called a soft return. That will always keep social studies grouped with this paragraph so that if I make any changes in spacing or so on, it will stay together with this paragraph. So that is a soft return, shift enter. But anyway, let's turn this off. Go back to a nice clean document. And again, we're back at here where we want social studies to line up under language arts. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to come over here to this bottom triangle, which is the hanging indent. Hold down my mouse button, slide it over, and let go under the L.